Hey everyone, before we begin rating every single console ever, I wanted to take a moment to thank this video's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon makes high-quality Bluetooth earbuds. I've talked about them before when I first got them earlier this year, and I'm still using them to this very day. I personally use their newest model, which is the Everyday E25 earbuds. Not only do they look good, they sound great. They fit comfortably in any ear thanks to the different sized grips that comes with it. This lets me listen to whatever I want discreetly, which usually ends up being some killer gaming soundtracks, such as Killer Instinct, Killer 7, Killer is Dead, Killer Queen, Kirby's Dream Land 3. With that many Kirby soundtracks, I'm glad they last a solid 6 hours on a full charge. I need to hear every single rendition of Green Greens. 20. There are 20 different versions of Green Greens. Here's all of them at once. You can get yours right now by going to buyraycon.com/ProJared for 15% off your order. Raycon earbuds already start at half the price than any other earbud on the market, so this makes them even cheaper. And if you're unhappy with them, there's a 45-day free return policy to make sure you get the earbuds that you like. To get yours now, use the link in the description below or go to buyraycon.com/ProJared and save 15%. Hello YouTube! As denoted by one of the stretch subathon goals from the birthday stream, we're going to do an every console tier list. And the chat crushed it, so we're going to go through every single console ever and rank them as best as I can. It's so sweet. That's Michael Jordan saying sweet, by the way. This might take some time, so strap yourselves in. We're adding an F tier. There we go. F tier acquired. We did it. We can start with the easy ones that I know immediately. Like, for example, we got the Super Nintendo. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. S tier. Super Nintendo. S tier. By far. My favorite console. It's so good. It has to be up there. The controller feels amazing. It's still incredibly comfortable. Basically helped make RPGs into like one of the best genres you could possibly play. All the games on there are still fun. So good. Easy S tier for Super Nintendo.
Sweet.
It is sweet. Michael Jordan. So if the Super Nintendo is S tier, the NES, let's be real, NES is very, very good. Very good. But I don't think NES is quite S tier. You know, it's not as up there. I would put NES at A tier, not S, because the Super Nintendos are so much better than the NES. Because it still has a lot of really good classics on there, and so many franchises started on the NES. Saved the industry and all that. So it's up there for sure. Not quite S, but really good. Related, PlayStation 1, also fantastic system. More amazing RPGs on there, more amazing franchises started on there. PS1, dang, you know what? I think I gotta give it to the S tier. It's gotta go up there. It's just so good as well. PS1 is still amazing. I don't personally think it's as good as Super Nintendo, but like, I gotta show respect, you know? I gotta show respect. S tier for PS1. PS1 better than NES? If I'm being real, yeah. There's more stuff that's playable on the PlayStation 1 than there are on the NES. How about the, easy, Virtual Boy. F. Just put that there, like we know where it's gonna end up, just F for Virtual Boy. Just no. Nah. Oh, here we go. How about Game Boy? OG Game Boy, okay? Not Game Boy Color, not Game Boy Advance, but OG Game Boy. Where do we put this bad boy? Because again, gotta respect it. Made handheld gaming as awesome as it is. Does have its fair share of problems. It's very good, but it's not as good as the NES. But it's also not a bad system, so I think I gotta give Game Boy a B. I think it's just a B. No backlight, no light at all. How much fast it just drained batteries. And like the number of classics that people are like want to still play to these days, not a whole lot. Next up, Vectrix. First off, how many of y'all know what a Vectrix is? Second, who's ever actually played a Vectrix? So the Vectrix is actually really cool technology because he uses light diodes rather than like on-screen graphics. That said, name a Vectrix game. Go. It's down at the bottom. I don't think it's not as bad as the Virtual Boy. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a D because it's not as bad as the Virtual Boy because like it does have some novelty to it, but it's really not. It's not that great. It's not that great, sadly. What else is in here? Oh, TurboGrafx. Okay, TurboGrafx, the oft-forgotten competitor to the Genesis and the NES, technically. This is another weird one because it's forgotten quite a bit, but it's not that bad of a system. It's also not terrible. It's not a D, it's not an F. It's also not an S, it's not an A. The Game Boy is better than TurboGrafx, if I want to compare it that way, but like TurboGrafx like does have some cool stuff on there. I liked Bonk, and D&D games on there is pretty cool. Double Dungeons is on there. Air Zonk is cool, but so C tier for the TurboGrafx. Wait, no, this is the TurboGrafx. What the fuck is this? This is the TurboGrafx. What is this? The Amiga CD? Oh, all right, fucking F tier then. Oh, if we want to stick on some weird Sega stuff. So this is the Sega system before the Master System. F, obviously. No one cares. No one cares. No one cares. What else we got in here? There we go. We got the Atari Jaguar, the world's first 64-bit system. Bro, 64 bits when everyone else is running at 16? Damn, dude, that's so sick. It had so much freaking power. The Atari Jaguar had classic games on there, such as F. Up next, we have the Famicom and the NES. They're basically the same. I'm just gonna put them together. That's redundant. Just gonna put them together. Who cares? Here's the actual Sega Master System, not the SG whatever, but the actual Master System. So before the Genesis, there was the Master System that again no one cared about unless you lived in Brazil. It was okay. You know what was one of my favorite games to play on it? Of all things, Rambo. I remember playing the Rambo games a lot and having a lot of fun with it. It's actually a fine system. It's a fine system. It's not as good as the NES, but I'm gonna B for the Master System. Respects the Master. I got some Master System games. Maybe I'll bust some of those out. Who knows? Oh, since we got the Atari Jaguar down here, here's the Atari Jaguar CD add-on, also F. Oh, here's Super Famicom. Again, redundant, but also an S tier, I guess. We'll just whatever. All right. Chat, what the hell is this? What am I looking at here? Is it the VTech? Where's Jeff? Jeff, is this the VTech? F, get out of here. More like F-Tech, got him. Oh, the Telstar? Dude, Telstar, okay. Telstar had like light gun technology, more or less. This was just like another Pong machine. Gonna throw that in the D tier. Is it, for what it was, it worked. It played Pong. Oh, is that the N gauge? It sure is. F, how about this? Atari. Just the Atari 2600. The Atari was like, I didn't really grow up on Atari as much, so I don't have like that nostalgia for it. I think it was like fine. I think it was fine. I leaned a B for the Atari 2600. It was fine. No, C tier for Atari. Like, it was fine. It was fine. Sure, like, it made a huge thing, and everyone loved it, but like there aren't, yeah, exactly. Like, there aren't games on there that I want to keep playing or would still enjoy to play. So, related to that, let's find the other Ataris. Yeah, okay, this is the 5200. The 5200 was a waste. It was just a waste. Like, this, of all the Ataris they made, like, this is probably the most, like, worthless one. It at least played 2600 games, which helped it. It wasn't a broken piece of crap like everything down here, like, so, like, D tier because it at least functioned. All right, Atari 7800. You know what? It had better games on there than the 5200, but still not as good as just OG Atari. So I'm also gonna put the D tier on there. At least had Mario. No, not Mario. It had Donkey Kong on there. It had Mario Brothers. Had Double Dragon. There's at least stuff on there. But yeah, what? So forgettable compared to the Atari 2600. You know? All right, Atari Lynx. D. No discussion. It's just a D. Yeah, here's the Sega CD add-on. You know what? There's actually some cool stuff on this Sega CD. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff on the Sega CD. So, it's not D or F. It's not a Garbo. It's not Garbo. It's not awesome either. So, CD gets a C.
Sweet.
And not the D. In that same vein, the Sega 32X. The 32X was also another, like, underutilized, worthless upgrade. Kind of the same vein of the Ataris. So, we'll put the 32X in D. CDC, 32X D. But with that, Sega Saturn, which came out after all of those, again, has some cool stuff on there. A lot of overlooked stuff. Definitely not here. I think I'd give it a B, dude. Saturn's got cool stuff on there. I'd give it a B. Yeah, but not this. Game & Watch. The Game & Watch. Let's be real. If we're being as real about as possible, yeah, it made handhelds, but functionally, it's really not that different compared to any other like Tiger Electronics handheld. I don't think it's that exciting. D for the Game & Watch. You know what? If we're doing handhelds, let's get that Game Gear right away. The Game Gear was so cool. There was that one kid on my bus going to school every day who had the Game Gear. It was lit, it had color, and I was just using my Game Boy, and I was like, dang, look at those colors. That said, it's nowhere near as good as the Game Boy. Better than the goddamn Game & Watch, though, so we'll give a C for Game Gear. It was fine. It was fine. Named like true classic Game Gear titles, we were like, hell yeah, you need a Game Gear for that game. What else did I play on there? I don't even freaking remember. Doesn't matter. I had a good part of Streets of Rage 2. Oh, I never played the EBA port. I did play NBA Jam on the Game Gear. That was sick. We can stick with the handhelds. Is this the, is this Neogeo Pocket? Neogeo Pocket was all right. I always thought the clicky like thumbstick was always kind of the weird side. But it was all right. I liked it fine. I think it's an easy C for the Neogeo Pocket. Oh wait, is that Neogeo Pocket color? And that's the, so this is the color, this is the regular one. I'll keep them together, whatever. Oh, here's the Japanese Saturn. Again, I don't know why they felt the need to do that. That seems so redundant. Well, while we're at it with shitty handhelds, what you call, I can't remember the name of it right now. Gamescom or Game.com, not Gamescom, Game.com. Gamecom was hot garbage. Throw that down in the F where it belongs, next to the rest of the garbage. Sucks. Is that the PlayStation? What is this? What the hell's a Mega Duck? I don't know what a Mega Duck is, and I never played it, so it must be garbage. So you're going to F tier. Is this the PlayStation Pocket? Or a Pokemon Mini? What? Why is the little Pikachu Mini on here? You know, it was kind of sick, but we'll give it a D. Is this the PlayStation little handheld thingy? They all look the same, dude. Yeah. D tier it. Let's D tier that one. Oh, TurboGrafx Express. Literally a portable TurboGrafx player. That's not been done before. They didn't have a portable Sega Genesis. They didn't have a portable NES. They didn't have a portable Super Nintendo. But TurboGrafx comes out of nowhere and just says, hey, your TurboGrafx games, what if you could play them anywhere? That was kind of impressive for 1990 whatever. So at minimum, it's as good as TurboGrafx 16. So we'll put it in the same tier at TurboGrafx 16. So after the TurboGrafx Express, Sega was like, damn, what a good idea. What if we copy that idea with the Nomad? I haven't actually used the Nomad, so I don't know how good it is functionality-wise. It works. That's all I need. B. And you know what? If we hit the Nomad, we haven't hit the Genesis yet. Where's the Genesis? Model 2 Genesis. We need to talk about the Genesis, you guys. I like the Genesis. There's also got some really cool stuff on there. I don't think it's as good as Super Nintendo. That's my bias. Too bad. I do think there's more and better games on Super Nintendo compared to Genesis. But the Genesis is cool, man. And I want to show it some respect. So I feel like it would be a disservice to put Genesis anywhere other than at least an A. At least an A. Because there is cool stuff on there. Games I like playing on Genesis, Toe Jam and Earl, Sonic 2, Contra Hardcore, Shadowrun, Phantasy Star, especially Phantasy Star 4. I actually remember playing Madden with my friends a lot as a kid, even though I wasn't big on sports games. I remember I liked playing them. I never played Castlevania Bloodlines. Oh, Road Rash! Road Rash on Genesis was sick, dude. Super Highlight, obviously.
I'm playing Super Highlight.
Awesome games on the Genesis. It deserves some respect. I don't know what this is, so... F. Related. What the fuck is this guy? Oh man, I can't remember the name of it. It's the F tier, I can tell you that. Got him. Is this the, is that the Fairchild controller? Nintendo Pong, is that what it was? I don't remember. Alright, well, Pong's Pong, so D. Here's another Pong one, D. Pongs get D. What? God, there's so many here that I don't know. Is that the Wonder Swan? Oh, it is Wonder Swan, right? Yeah, it's Wonder Swan. Not complete garbage. It's not a Gamecom. Wonder Swan is where they first remade Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and 4, but it's also like not awesome. It's definitely a D. What is this guy? Microvision? What is a Microvision? I don't know what it is. I never played it, therefore it can't be good. F tier for the Microvision. This is how we do things. What is this guy? I've never seen this one before. The Supervision? I've never heard of that one either. So it's obviously fat garbage. F tier it is. What is this guy? I don't know what that is, so also an F. What is this? Why does it say Wikipedia on it? What the hell is this? Sounds fake. F. Game Pocket Computer. Don't know what that is either, so F. The Gamate? What is a Gamate? Don't know what it is. F. No, that guy is F. I didn't play it. It's garbage. Also F. F. I'm such a dick. F. 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 Oh, a Pong machine. D. Is that just a VCR? F. 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 I can't even tell what that guy is, so he gets an F for being a terrible picture. I don't know. D for that guy, whatever it is. Now, here's a debate. Intellivision versus ColecoVision. My first console was ColecoVision. I had ColecoVision before I had NES. And as a kid, I remember my neighbors having Intellivision. Well, it's not fair to like kind of pit them against each other, especially when I'm just going for a ranking. I would say they are, at the very least, I don't think they're better than the Atari 2600. Even though like they had some new functionality and new features in there. Like when you get down to it, I don't think it was so awesome. It was like, oh yeah, blow Atari out of the water. I think they were just fine. They were as good as Atari. And they're certainly better than the 5200 and the 7800. So let's put the ColecoVision and the Intellivision also in the C tier. It's just fun. Oh, here we go. The Neo Geo. So here's the thing. It's easy to knock Neo Geo for being so heckin' expensive, but it straight up plays your Neo Geo arcade games. I would put Neo Geo at B. It's so expensive, but one of the big things that people always wanted was the arcade experience at home, and no one did that quite literally until Neo Geo. What is this guy? Who's this guy? Apple Pippin. Sounds like an F to me. I feel like I've seen this one before, but I've already forgotten what it was. PCFX. Sounds like another F. I should have done my research before I started this, but too bad. PCFX for visual novels and RPGs. Had a lot of hentai games. Alright, D tier.
BAM! Face full of dick.
Gonna have to try to remember what this one is real fast. Pioneer Laser Active. Oh, so good I had to ask what the chat was about it. F. So we've got the 3DO and the CDI. I think CDI, memes aside, is literally an F. It was so expensive. The controller is garbage. Even when it came out, it barely worked. Big ol' F for that. The 3DO was better than CDI, but it's still not D tier. So we're still gonna keep that up in the Fs. So we'll put 3DO a bit better, but it's still not great. While we're at it, 64DD also F. Because like, what was the point? Okay, let's get controversial. Game Boy Color. The Game Boy Color was a functionally better Game Boy, but it was such a half step. There wasn't like a whole lot on there to like really want to get just a Game Boy Color. Like the number of like Game Boy Color exclusive games that are actually worth playing, I can count on one hand. But they are awesome. Pokemon Crystal, Shantae, the Metal Gear Solid for Game Boy Color is fantastic, but it didn't really get a whole lot. So I don't think it's better than the original Game Boy. I'm gonna give it a C. It was just fine. It was just fine. I don't think it added enough. It didn't add enough. It was fine. All right. It was fine. It was just such an underutilized half step that I can't justify saying the Game Boy Color was that good. We're putting the C. Now, related, the Game Boy Advance. Weirdly, they don't have the Game Boy Advance SP here. If they had the Game Boy Advance SP, easily better than the original GBA. Like, massive improvement over OG GBA. Like, massive improvement. This isn't every console ever, you fucking liar list. But the Game Boy Advance was awesome, dude. We'll put that ooh, it's up there. It's up there. It's definitely better than the OG Game Boy. At least an A tier for the GBA. And this is counting the SP model. It's at least an A tier, like, super good. Honestly, probably better than the NES. Because it's so good. Super good. If they had the SP version available as well, like, I would easily put that above, just like over original GBA. But like, library-wise, GBA, super good. Which brings us to Nintendo DS and the 3DS. If the Game Boy Advance is an A, the DS is an S. The DS was super good, you guys. I mean, not the original model. Again, if there was like DS Lite, I would obviously put the DS Lite there instead of original DS. But kind of Game Boy Advance rules here. DS is super good. I also played all Game Boy Advance games. Also, like, the DS is what started kind of getting like everyone into gaming. The DS started it, and then the Wii crushed it, but the DS really was like that first entry point that a lot of people started really getting into it. And there's a lot of really, really good DS games. Now the 3DS, let's be real, compared to DS, also putting it next to the GBA, 3DS is a B. B! It's not S, it's not A, it is a B. Remember how good the 3DS came out? That they had to drop the price point by a lot after a few months? And they had to make it up to people by giving them a bunch of, I don't know, Game Boy Advance games? 3DS has got awesome games on there. Like, amazing games. But in terms of sheer size of library, Game Boy Advance and DS still crushes. 3DS is good. Don't get me wrong. Like, 3DS is still good. Like, I'm not saying it's bad by any means. Like, it's still B tier. It's still a good handheld. But like, it never took off quite as much as the Game Boy Advance or the DS. 3DS, still good. All right? Yeah, and how quickly did people just not care about the 3D anymore? The 3D was given up on so quickly, and that was like one of the main draws of it. Yo, how about the Dreamcast? There's a lot of love for Dreamcast these days. Like, a lot of love. And it does have some super good stuff on there. The price was great. The games it had were awesome. I don't think the Dreamcast is S tier, though. I'm saying no S tier for Dreamcast. It's not an S, all right? It's not an S. Good, not an S. So, I played a lot of Power Stone on it. I loved Power Stone on it. Marvelous Capcom on it was cool. Soul Calibur blew my mind. The Sonic Adventure games are garbage, obviously. Whoa! Zombie Revenge is on it. Skies of Arcadia, Groundia. It did have online functionality. Wasn't awesome, but I did have it. But so did the Sega Genesis with the Sega Channel. I'm not a huge fan of the Dreamcast controller, if I'm being real. One, the cord comes out the bottom. That's weird and it's awkward. Two, it had the D-pad that was one of those D-pads that so quickly just shreds your thumb. And I mean like shred your thumb. And the control stick was just like, okay. It was like a copy paste of the Sega Saturn stick. But I want to give it respect for everything that it did. It was also so easy to pirate and get every game on there ever. So, and emulate stuff on it. So we'll give the Dreamcast an A. Dreamcast A. Like, it didn't really like last long enough to have such an impact as immediate S, but it's at least an A. All right. But the 3DS is a B? That's right. My list. While we continue our hot takes, let's go to the Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 made 4-player consoles the, like, minimum. Unless your PlayStation thing, I don't care. It still works to this day. Like, it, you know, it's a sturdy console. Now then, you gotta admit, those cartridges were a mistake. It crippled Nintendo by a lot. And the controllers, They're weird to use now. We got used to them when we were kids, absolutely. But it also wasn't awesome. You try to go back and do it now, you're still like, oh, this is weird, especially when you get older and your hands get larger. Another thing that really bothered me about N64 was how fast the controller's analog sticks got so worn out and used that they started flopping around and couldn't calibrate properly anymore. Like, that #1 complaint about the N64 controllers, just how quickly they break and start flopping around. You know what I mean? Now, there's some classic N64 games on there, but the number of classic N64 games on there that aren't Nintendo is... Glover? Banjo was Nintendo. This is when Rare's making stuff for Nintendo. You guys are proving my point. You're proving my point. Nintendo 64, super fun console, still love it to this day. C for Nintendo 64. It was a fine console. It was fine. Again, like, the good stuff that was on there, very good. Don't get me wrong. Not denying that. But, like, such a small library. And it was, again, just, like, if it wasn't for Nintendo, like, keeping it alive, I wouldn't have had much impact. Like, take away all the first-party games, Nintendo 64 sucks. That said, it was still good. Showing appreciation for the things it did with the 4-player, the Rumble feature, and all that. Mad appreciation for that, absolutely. But let's do a weird one. This is a weird one. Original Xbox. I was not someone who actually had an original Xbox when it came out. I remember renting one, and I played Halo, and I played Morrowind. And then my friends had an Xbox that I would go over and play with, like Knights of the Republic, Jade Empire, Mech Assault. When it came out, like, I wanted to hate it. Like, I tried to hate on it so hard because I was like, dude, Nintendo's the best. Boom, boom, Microsoft. But, like, OG Xbox, Blinks the Time Sweeper, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2. That was also on PS2. I actually don't really like the Dark Alliance games. Also, wasn't Dark Alliance 2 only on PS2? The Xbox did have a huge misstep with its Duke controllers, because those Duke controllers were pretty freaking bad. Like, when they made the S controllers, those were better. S controllers were better. OG Xbox is not bad. It's not an S tier. And also, I mean, Xbox also, like, really established good, solid online play with online functionality. Yeah, Dreamcast had it first. The PS2 is even more stripped down to that, but Xbox, like they pioneered a lot of stuff on there. I think I should show some respect to that. It was expensive, but it came out. I feel like it was like a momentum builder, you know? Like, it didn't start great, but like it grew faster, more and more as it went on. So, OG Xbox, I'll give a B. It's a B. More for the functionality than the games, I would say. You know? Better than N64. There's more games on the N64 that I have more fun playing today and would rather go back and play, but like, just in terms of console, hardware, what it offered, what it brought to the table, I think the Xbox did bring more. You know, let's just finish off that generation. We did Xbox. Let's do the PS2. Like, can you give the PS2 anything other than an S? Be real with me. Like, PlayStation 2, incredible. The fact that it lasted, like, what was it? 9, 10, 11 years and still had games coming out for it? Like, damn. Damn. Like, every kid had a PS2. Again, more amazing RPGs were on it. Well, again, the sports games people liked. A lot of, like, big Sony exclusives started showing up there. God of War, Eco, Shadow of the Colossus. Man, if we're being respectful, Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of my favorite games of all freaking time. And for showing respect, PS2 is gotta be S tier. It has to be S tier. And it played DVDs. It was the cheapest way to get a DVD player. Which, we do those. Brings us to GameCube. I love the GameCube. It suffers a little bit from Nintendo 64 syndrome, and that a lot of the best games that are on there are carried by first-party titles from Nintendo. But it did have its fair share of non-Nintendo-made exclusives on there too. Resident Evil 4 is like an easy one to throw out there. I think it would be... It is... Not think. It is. It is disingenuous to put a GameCube and a PlayStation 2 side by side and just say, who has better games? Because the PlayStation 2 does, because it has 4 billion more games than the GameCube. Just by pure quantity. There are awesome games on the GameCube, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But to say like it's as good as a PlayStation 2 or up in the S tier, I don't think I could do that. Can't do it. I like the Game Boy Advance link-up stuff on there, by the way. I love Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. I love Four Swords Adventures on it. The Pac-Man one was also super cool. I even did the Lord of the Rings Return of the King thing, so you get extra experience points or fucking whatever. The GameCube is an A. It's an A. I don't think it's quite S tier. Again, I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia for it. GameCube had a lot of hits. Yeah, it did. I love Double Dash. I'd rather play Double Dash over Mario Kart 64 any day of the week. I still like GameCube more than the Xbox, just in terms of like the kind of games it provided. And I do like the GameCube controller still. So, A for GameCube. You know, if we're gonna keep hitting the controversy train, let's go with the Wii. OG Wii. Again, we gotta be real about this one. Wii's got some cool games. I have a lot of Wii games. There's some good stuff on there. It also had all the motion control stuff, which again, no one cares about anymore. The Wii brought more people into gaming than the PS2 even did because it sold a billion. It had so many accessible games, so many easy things for people to get in and play. But it also just had so much garbage on it. Like, just garbage games. I worked at GameStop during the end of Xbox, GameCube, PS2 era. I worked there for the Xbox 360 launch, PS3 launch, the Wii launch. And my God, there was so much garbage Wii games. The Wii is a C. It's a C. Nintendo 64 above the Wii. I'd rather play N64 before Wii stuff. Wii is just fine. It's a fine system. It's okay. It's not amazing. It's not the best ever just because everyone had it. It has so much bad stuff. The online sucked. You couldn't watch movies on it. Again, more amazing games are on there. I liked using it with component cables so I could play my GameCube games in progressive scan. Yeah, Mario Galaxy is like my favorite Mario game. That's not Super Mario World. It had Netflix, but you had to get the disc for it. You couldn't just like pop in a DVD and actually watch it though. You know what I mean? So the Wii is just fine. It's not that great of a system. All right, PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 had a rough start, man. Like, real rough. As the years went on, it got better. So I didn't get a PS3 at launch. Even though I was working at GameStop and it was like easy for me to like make sure I got one, I didn't buy a PlayStation 3 until Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. Well, a few months before Metal Gear Solid 4, when they had the Metal Gear Online beta, I got it for the Metal Gear Online beta. It got better as it went on. Once we started ditching the stupid 6-axis shit. But PS3 had, again, like, incredible exclusives on there. It also had Final Fantasy 13. The Blu-ray was a big deal. It had Last of Us, it had Uncharted 2, Little Big Planet. Yeah, it had Demon Souls. I played Demon Souls on there. The online was free. And the 60 gigabyte / 80 gigabyte system was backwards compatible. So the backwards compatible PS3 gets a B. Non-backwards compatible PS3 gets a C. And that brings us to Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is really fascinating because, again, I didn't really like the original Xbox. But when it came between Xbox 360 and PS3, I actually liked the Xbox 360 way more. I liked the controller more. I liked Xbox Live more. It had more games on there. It also had a rough launch, but it was cheaper. Got some really good games on there. I didn't buy an Xbox 360 right away either, because we had the demo unit at my GameStop, and I just played like Madden and like Call of Duty on it, and I was like, this looks nice, but I don't care. I got an Xbox 360 when Dead Rising came out. Like when Dead Rising came out, that's when I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I stuck with it ever since. It also had the Kinect. Xbox 360 is an A. Maybe not quite S tier, I don't think. But like, Xbox 360 was really good. And I don't think people appreciated that. Above GBA, I mean, this isn't in order. This is just stuff. Don't worry about that. Let's do Wii U next. Let's do Wii U next. The Wii U is not an F. It's not an F. Because the Wii U had some cool stuff on there. Now, every good Wii U game ended up being ported to the Switch. But the Wii U had some good stuff. Like, when I say good stuff, I mean like 13 games out of its total library of 20. Like, I'm thinking of where Wii U next to Wii, and it just gets weird. Like, where would you compare the two? Because I think I actually like the Wii U more than the Wii. But the Wii U, the original Wii had more going for it. No, I gotta be real. I gotta be real, chat. I gotta be real. The Wii U is a D. It's a D tier console. It's a D. Remember all the things they said that the Wii U could do, and then they just didn't? Remember when they showed the gamepad being put on the ground and people like using the Wii controller to like golf on it? Or talking about how the Wii U could have 2 gamepads hooked up to it for some like really cool stuff? There's a lot of stuff that never really followed through on. And the number of games that like truly utilized the gamepad, like truly utilized it, was like Mario Maker did it the best. Absolutely. Didn't like Star Fox Zero, despite what Gerard said. I tried, wasn't great. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate was sick, but there was a reason that the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate wasn't ported over onto it. Nintendo Land was cool. I think Nintendo Land's probably like one of the most underappreciated Wii U titles. But like, man, it just didn't sell. It didn't go great. I found myself playing with a Pro Controller over the gamepad in any opportunity I could, which seemed like a big counterintuitive thing for the Wii U. So I gotta put that Nintendo bias aside. Just like, it was a D console. It wasn't awesome. It really wasn't awesome. Couple more to go. Oh, PSP. PSP. I like the PSP. Much like the PS3, it was a slow burn. Like, it started off kind of like, all right, whatever. But then it got some like really cool stuff. I played so much goddamn Monster Hunter Freedom, Monster Hunter Freedom 2, and Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on it. That's where the claw came from. It had some decent ports. It did get a lot of watered down console ports. Like, anytime a new game would come out for a console, they'd put like a not as good version onto the PSP. It was easy to mod. I actually played Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, thanks to modding it and getting the Japanese version. Played that with my friends. That was super cool. Much like the Game Boy Advance, like, I don't feel like the PSP was really cool until the 2000 model came out. Like, the 2000 model like really solidified it, especially after they got the TV hookups. So like, it was pretty good. But again, there's a lot of like just dumb decisions by Sony in there. The stupid memory stick duos can eat my whole ass. UMD movies were dumb and filled up bargain bins faster than you wouldn't believe. Peace Walker was really good. It had some stuff going for it. PSP was another fine handheld. The PSP gets a C. PSP's a C. Like, it was a good handheld. It was good. I don't think it was amazing, but like, it was good. It had some stuff on there. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. But it wasn't like awesome or amazing. It was fine. Now, comparatively, the PlayStation Vita, I am so tempted to give it an F, just because it was a failure in every sense of the word. But I've been kind of saving like the F tier for all the stuff that like just didn't function, or people like didn't care about, just didn't work. So I feel like giving it an F is a little on the harsh side, but it had so little support. The Vita is like bottom D. Bottom of the D. Way at the bottom at the D. Not good. Not good. And that brings us to our current gen. I'm going to do the Xbox One first. That's another weird one. I have an Xbox One. I never opened it. There was never a reason for me to open it. Any amazing Xbox One game that I wanted to play was either also available on PS4 or got ported to PC or something else. Remember when the Xbox One was like, it's always online and the Kinect will be watching you? Thankfully, they backtracked on that. All right, so my ranking for the Xbox One. Keep in mind, this is coming from someone who never really used the Xbox One, never actually opened it. From the outside looking in, just based on its functionality and what it provides and what it offers and all of that. And like the games that people would actually want to play on there, that's like amazing, console exclusive on Xbox One. Just based on the criteria we've set for everything else, the Xbox One's a D. It's a D. It's a D. Yeah. It's a D. What a bummer. You right, but damn. Like, even now, what amazing Xbox One games that you can't play on other consoles or other systems or PC or whatever. I can't think of one. I really can't. The Kinect Animals game.
Here's a fun one. The play dead trick. All you have to do.
What the hell am I doing?
Yeah, there's not a lot. So I'm gonna stick with the D on there. Now, on the flip side of that, the PlayStation 4. It has knack. It has Final Fantasy 14. I really like PS4. Actually, I think PS4 is up there, dude. I think PS4 is way up there. I got PS4 at launch, and it wasn't as much of a slow burn as like PS3, but it wasn't like super exciting right out of the box, and it did get slowly better. But like, it's really good. Like, look at my PS4 games down there. What do we got? Freaking Metal Gear Solid 5. Oh yeah, Persona 5 is awesome. Monster Hunter World is on it. I really like PlayStation 4. I do. I don't think it's quite best ever though. So I think we gotta give the PS4 a super respectable A. Super respectable A. I did find myself, as like the lifespan kind of continued, I found myself buying less and less PS4 games because I was just losing interest in it. That's just a me thing and not a console thing. Like Horizon Zero Dawn. I never played it. Everything I hear about it sounds amazing though. I don't. I know I should play it, but I just have hard times enjoying open world games in general. But yeah, there's some really good stuff on there. I really like the PS4 controller. Online works super well. It's got the PlayStation Plus games. Plus, like in terms of the exclusive games that's on the PS4 that's not on compared to Xbox One and their exclusive games, PS4 just got more. And that brings us to the final one, the Nintendo Switch. This is gonna be tough. I love the Switch. I do love it. Because like its portability and all that is so cool. It has amazing indie support. It's kind of a port machine though. Like the indie games on there are awesome, but the number of like actual exclusive indie games aren't as many. And like that also does have some like super amazing exclusive games. Like Atari, like Smash Ultimate is mind-blowingly good. I did like Breath of the Wild a lot. The Switch's online still kind of sucks. I'm gonna give the Nintendo Switch a lot of credit for what it is, which is literally a portable console. Like they said, this is what it is, and they freaking nailed it. Like that's what it is, and that's amazing. Like they accomplished exactly what they said they wanted it to be, and that's awesome. But I still feel like it trails behind a lot of other console stuff. Online still isn't great. When's the last time you put down your Switch, took off both Joy-Cons, handed one Joy-Con to a friend of yours, and actually sat there playing two-player stuff on your screen with the little Joy-Cons? Switch is great. I love it. I think it's great. F. Psych! But the Switch is an A. It's not an S. It's not an S. Switch is an A. It's still an A. Good A. Like a good A. It's not an S. It's an A. And with that, this is the definitive console tier list. I will not be taking questions at this time. I'm sorry I didn't quite know as many weird ones down here as I should have. I'm sorry. That's on me. This tier list is law. Everyone print this out and then tape it up on your bedroom wall next to where you sleep so you can start memorizing it every night. So when people ask you about it, you can tell them for sure. what is the actual best consoles because I have shown you. And I'm not changing it. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Check me out over at twitch.tv/ProJared for more fun things such as this. Thanks to our amazing, perfect, infallible tier list.